More now on the arrest of IMF Chief Dominique Strauss-Kahn. Joining us now to offer some legal insight into the ongoing court proceedings is MSNBC legal analyst Susan Filan. Susan, I've been reading the details of the criminal complaint. We've got one count of rape, one count of sexual abuse, even imprisonment. But today the defence team is suggesting in some measure that this was a consensual act of sex. What kind of a defence? I mean, is that going to run?
Right, I just want to say it's attempted rape.
Forgive me.
No, it's all right. But, well, they've changed their defense a couple of times already, which is never good right out of the box. Consensual defense in a sexual assault case is usually a standard defense. It's not surprising at all, and it certainly wouldn't hurt him if there is a forensic evidentiary match. It's not going to be surprising to find his DNA in the hotel room. You're going to find DNA in a hotel room. But if you find his DNA on the accused, that would be negated by a defense of consent. Now, you're going to then take it down to a he said, she said case. Who's more credible of the two? And so you might say, well, he might be because of the position that he holds, but look what he has to lose if he loses this, so he may have a bigger motive to lie. What does she have to gain by coming forward with this story? If you believe the Sarkozy defense, I was set up and this is my adversary trying to take me down before I even get started.
This is a big conspiracy theory that's playing on the internet.
Okay, then she has a motive to lie. But if you look at what's called constancy of accusation, the number of times that she tells her story, the number of people to whom she tells it, the immediacy with which it's told, and that doesn't change. The details don't change. It's hard to tell the same lie over and over and again and get it right every time.
You talk about what does he have to gain or lose in these circumstances, but what does she have to gain?
Well,
wouldn't it be much more in her interest to take a huge financial settlement, as many people have in the past when an incident like this, an allegation like this has been made, and walk away from any court proceedings? She's got a large sum of money.
It is another crime to bribe a victim. So he has to be extremely, extremely careful about approaching her with any financial settlement. She hasn't filed a civil action against him, so there's no mechanism, there's no vehicle for settling this quote-unquote out of court. If you were to offer with that, that would be tantamount to bribing a witness at this point. So I don't see it going out that way. The other difficulty would be, though, if she does somehow succumb to pressure of the tabloids or of the media, and there's going to be international pressure for her to give her story or to speak.
There already is. She's not even at home. She's living in seclusion. Her brother has said she's literally not able to go back to her own property.
But if she does sell that story, if she goes from being a chambermaid to actually a guest in the $3,000 a night suite, the reversal of roles here being completely ironic, I think it would make the case very, very difficult for the prosecution and potentially unprosecutable. So it could go out that way. If she holds firm and she doesn't sell out, she doesn't sell herself or her story, and it just goes as a straight attempted sexual assault case in a court of law, there's no winnable case for either side, but it could be a very difficult case for the accused.
Strauss-Kahn is due in court on Friday, I believe.
He's due in court on Friday because in New York, New York DA has 144 hours or 6 days to return a bill of indictment. This has to go to the grand jury. If the grand jury doesn't indict him, they have to let him go without bail. If they let him go without bail, he's in France and we'll never see him. So we need that indictment back before Friday. He'll appear on Friday. They'll tell whether there's an indictment or not, and then they'll give him his next court date.
Attorney Susan Filan, thanks so much for joining us.